This week on DNA we will be exploring the anime equivalent of a Spanish soap opera, but done absolutely right. A show full of melodramatic moments, rivers of tears and drawn out dialogues about cosmetic surgery. I'm talking of course about Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fraternidad.
So let's dive into the story of Elon Musk Elric and his brother Alfonso's Pizza Elric on their penultimate quest of getting their bodies back. As these unfortunate children aren't just orphaned but also crippled. Due to some physical and mental trauma, the Elric brothers have lost 135.7% of their total body mass in an arts and crafts class gone horribly wrong. These two young boys can't even catch a break as the military eventually finds out about their Picasso-like achievements and decides to turn them into state-approved children soldiers. The Elric brothers, being fans of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, besides of course being children, eagerly accept the proposition of Sergeant Roy Mustang, the hero of Ishval and legendary barbecue chef. Seeing as there is little to criticize this show about because we all know it's one of the evergreens of anime, let's talk about what it is. First thing you need to know is that even for anime standards, this show classifies as a melodrama, which means that it's dramatic for the sake of being dramatic. On the other hand, it's set in a fantasy world where clapping your hands together and drawing on the floor might even award you the rank of major, and being shipped off to Ra'am in Ishval to commit genocide. So, who knows, maybe we would be a bit dramatic as well given the circumstances. Second, Fullmetal Alchemist is a show about alchemists, but not your everyday old dude with dementia and substance abuse, self-isolating in a tower somewhere type of alchemists. No. Alchemists in Amestris are full-blown Arnold Schwarzenegger meets Wizard of the Coast type of macho alchemists. Not gonna lie, this show has some badass dudes and girls in it. Let's take my man Vrav for example, better known as Fur Bradley. Now, this guy isn't even the main villain of the story. No, he's more or less just an expandable Lucky, a homunculus that can be remade if need be. But this dude demands respect just by being on screen. As soon as I see the mustache show up, I'm subconsciously forced to straighten my back and sit upright. They somehow managed to give human form the word authority. Add that with a killer voice actor, talking about the English dub, yes I'm a pleb, and you got yourself a winning combination. Wait, didn't I forget something? Yeah, let's give this monstrosity of testosterone some goddamn superpowers in the shape of the ultimate eye and bioengineered sword mastery. Now we're cooking.
But wait, you're going too fast, you weak trash. What the hell is a homunculus?
I'm glad you asked. Well, dear kids, let me give you a short history lesson on alchemy. A homunculus is a representation of a small human being, popularized in 16th century alchemy and 19th century fiction. It has historically referred to the creation of a miniature, fully formed human. The concept has roots in preformationism, as well as earlier folklore and alchemic traditions. I absolutely didn't copy-paste that straight from Wikipedia. A homunculus historically looked like this. Something like me when I go out of the shower. Now, having you put through hell by looking at that, let's wash our eyes with some soothing images. Ah, much better. Okay, where we are, alright. You see, in the FMA universe, homunculus aren't the hideously deformed abominations we saw a few seconds ago, but demigods created by a different demigod on his way to consume a god to become a god.
And how did this guy create these homunculus?
Well, I'll tell you how, with the Philosopher's Stone, which is coincidentally the prime goal of our two main protagonists, as it's the key to getting their bodies back. A phrase said 843 times during the show, and that is now permanently engraved into my mind having watched this anime 3 times. Contrary to popular belief, a Philosopher's Stone isn't J.K. Rowling's copyright protected pebble, but the magnum opus and life work of an alchemist, whose ingredients include flour, extra virgin almond milk and however many human sacrifices you might have laying around in the fridge. That's right, a Philosopher's Stone isn't neither vegan nor is it gluten free. But it's still extremely useful as it allows you to circumvent the first law of thermodynamics. Anyway, I'm getting out of topic much here. Let's actually talk about the show. I have to admit that the world building in FMA is absolutely fantastic. A country built from the ground up for the sole purpose of its destruction. That's not something that's too uncommon in anime, but The way Hiromu Arakawa designed the lore and history around it is so well done that it looks and feels like a real and believable nation. An artificial created nation totally centered and controlled by the military, with a puppet figure as its leader, whose every move and action is actually controlled by someone lurking in the shadows. A nation who massacred thousands in countless wars and forced natives whose land it took to live in special reserves, or two child soldiers whose father left to become the best dressed hobo in all of the land, learned the art of alchemy from the cigarette lady from Kung Fu Hustle by camping on an island, after which their mother dies of blood sickness, who they then try to resurrect using a level 5 raise dead spell, which fails, as not only were they level 4 wizards and not level 7 paladins, but also used 300 instead of 500 gold pieces which the spell requires, like total noobs. The boys then set out to solve crime mysteries, one of which was the inspiration for a well-known Snapchat filter. I will go to hell, I know. Their detective work, however, brings them ever closer to the truth. The truth is unfortunately too much to handle for just two teenagers, so they needed help, as they figured out that the real enemy to this country and its people is, in fact, the military. So, what do? They seek help from the military, but in the form of Sergeant Roy Mustang. By the way, a great porn actor name there. They end up forming the progressive left wing of Masters, as their party now includes minorities, immigrants, cross-dressers, and the disabled, pretty much all of the rest. And together they plan to overthrow the ruling bourgeoisie. I'm deliberately not gonna talk too much about the remaining plot, as I think it's very well written and animated, and it's best to experience it for yourself. As I have already mentioned, I have watched FMA a couple of times till now and read the manga once, and I still find it hard to hold back tears on some of the scenes in the show. All in all, FMA is a gateway drug for girls who want to get into anime. Good story, good fights, great lore, and tons of melodrama. Fullmetal Alchemist, 10 out of 10.
Ve a verlo.